The most important part of freerunning, or skateboarding, or probably any extreme sport, is learning how to fall.
Oh! That was funny.
Around the time we started really getting into freerunning, we found a nearby gymnastics center that started running an open gym. It was a wonderful place where we could do anything we wanted. We could practice dangerous tricks in a safe environment, and we went there twice a week for years. It has now been about 2 years since me or any of my team have gone to the gym. My brother Ricky was staying with us while he went to school nearby. I thought this is the perfect opportunity to get some jumping in while he was down, so we decided to go back to the gym for the first time in years. After a few minutes, it was all coming back to me. I could do everything I've ever done. Ricky was trying tricks he'd never done before. It was amazing. That is, until he broke his feet. Ricky tried a front flip 180 to a backflip, and when he landed, both of his feet buckled. We took him to the emergency room that night, and he got a cast on both of his feet. It really got me thinking about my own mortality. Was it skill that I never got injured? Was I truly in control of my own safety? Or was I just lucky? Despite having fallen many times in the past, none of us really received any major injuries while we were filming our videos. Sure, there were rolled ankles and maybe a bruised shoulder and one time a chipped tooth and another time a bloody nose, but this was the first time any of us had broken any bones while freerunning. While we all had many falls in our videos, very few of them actually caused any injury. In every video we ever produced, we always added a fall video. Here is some of the falls throughout our freerunning days.
I'm fine. Are you okay? Cheat your face? Dirt!
The most common reaction I ever got while showing family or other people some of our freerunning videos was when they would exclaim, "How dangerous this is, and aren't you scared you're gonna break your neck?" I was never blind to the danger of what we did, but I felt that each of us, and no doubt any skilled athlete, knew the limits of what we could do. We knew right away if a ledge or a gap was too big. We knew running up to a spot whether or not we'd be able to make it. However, there should always be a healthy level of respect for the danger in any sport. When you lose that small level of fear, that's where accidents can happen.
That was kind of scary.
Ow. Dude, like as soon as I left, I knew I wasn't gonna do it.
When I started doing flips is around the time soap shoes stopped being sold. Now, if you're old enough, you'll remember soap shoes had a piece of curved hard plastic in the center of the shoe that allowed you to grind down rails. There was one day during lunch in high school when I hadn't done a rail slide in a while, but someone asked me to prove I could do it. So of course, I obliged. I had no fear, no thought of failure, so I went for a rail that was probably bigger than I had done before without any mental preparation. I missed the grind plate and the rubber grips the handrail, causing me to buckle and fall onto the rail. It honestly wasn't as bad as it could have been, but I have a philosophy when it comes to falling. If you fall, make sure you get up and try it at least one more time, otherwise you can begin to develop a fear for it. This became true for me and several of the other guys on our team. I got a fear of sliding on handrails that never fully went away. Doing the flips we did not require an immense physical aptitude. It's really mostly in our heads whether or not we would make it. As a result, each of us pushed each other just a little bit past our level of comfort, and all of us were able to accomplish some really cool stuff. Ricky, though, most among us did not have that same fear instinct. Ricky started getting to a point in our freerunning where he was going for things that might have been outside of his limit. He wanted to do a front flip off a small 7-foot roof, and we encouraged him to go for it. I'll let him share his experience.
And so, what happened was, at his high school, they wanted me to front flip off of this big tall thing, whatever it is. and I was gonna do a front flip off, and then so I was like, okay, here I go. So I jumped and I front flipped off, and then somehow I landed at a certain point where it knocked the wind out of me, as in this video.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. No. Lay backwards, and spread out.
And it just hurt like crazy.
Just don't
Can you
talk.
put that in my video though? Just take out the.
High five for that, Ricky.
Dang, that kind of hurt a lot.
There's a saying that eventually became our motto. Pain is temporary, but film lasts forever.
Well, nothing bathroom can't fix.
That mentality is what encouraged me to go for things that scared me. Even if I got injured, it being on camera made it worth it.
If I die for anything, guys, I want you to make sure it gets on. Everyone sees it, okay?
All right.
And what?
No.
Yeah, Ricky gets the camera.
There were a few times that some of us did get injured though, and the one time that scared me the most was early on when Tim was just starting out and he fell pretty bad at the gym.
The second time I was ever at the gym. I'd only been one time before, and the first time I was just kind of watching and getting used to everything. And this time Jimmy had taught me how to backflip consecutively on the trampoline. I was going for 2, 3, 4 at a time. So finally I got it good enough to where I was like, Jimmy, record me. So Jimmy and Jake were standing by, everyone was standing by. Then I started doing the backflips, and did 1, did 2, threw a leg out to fancy it up, and then on the third one I just opened up and stopped rotating, and I saw the ground coming through the back of my head, and all of a sudden I just felt crunch. Felt my knee hit on both sides of my head, and just screamed in pain. Jimmy thought I broke my neck. Jake was like, oh my gosh, I've never heard Tim scream like that. It hurt, but I'm okay, don't worry.
I would also like to point out Ricky's concern during this difficult time. We see him practicing his spins. Tim falls, but Ricky's determined. He's not going to let the potential loss of his teammates stop his training. We see there is a moment of concern.
Jim,
But no, he's probably fine. Back to spinning.
Alright, let's just...
I have never been injured from freerunning. Not really. Now, I have always attributed that to knowing how to fall. It is important to know your limits. As I've gotten older, I have become less certain of myself, less confident in whether or not I can accomplish a certain trick. I think it's a result of being aware that I'm not as capable as I used to be. Or maybe I don't know my limits as well as I used to. In any case, I'm learning that when you can't anymore, pass it on. Share what you've learned with someone else. And even as I'm getting older, I'm still learning how to fall.
Aww. Okay.
Today's a new day. Wash all the troubles from your face. Adventures waiting. The possibilities are great. Right here, it's clear.
Wow.